Previously on Jeep Roscoe. Essentially, there's a big bushfire in Margaret River all the way down to Augusta. Anyway, with the Margaret River Augusta region closed, I think I'll head up to Bunbury. And of course with the name Gwalia, which literally means Wales. How could I not go there? So effectively I would have done the Nullarbor in 2 days. Quite famous. They really got some nice beaches. So this is Busselton Jetty. Only joking. That's Busselton Jetty. So the jetty is 1.85 kilometers, just under 2 kilometers long, the longest in the southern hemisphere. There's a tram that departs on the half hour. It takes 45 minutes to return out to the end. It's $4 for a day ticket, and for $35 to get into the observatory at the end. We'll come back and do a more extensive tour, but just a quick lunch stop today on our way to Bunbury. Just arriving in Bunbury now, and all I can say is it's a lot bigger than it used to be. The last time I was here was in 2013, and it's getting very close to 100,000 now, whereas before it was around about 65 to 70,000. It's growing very fast, and some of the outer suburbs that are being built, like Dalyalup. When I first came here in 2002, I was there for the first kind of row of houses, and it's now a massive estate. There's still a little bit of farmland between that and the centre of Bunbury, but it's not going to be long, in my opinion, before that's all built on, and Dalyalup just becomes like a part of Bunbury. There's a weird sense of deja vu and familiarity. It's just hard to describe. It's just so much bigger than it used to be. Familiar yet very different. This is downtown city centre. Seems like only yesterday I was here, but somehow it's extremely different. It's weird coming into the city. Coming into the city, you could almost swear that the centre of the city itself has shifted, just because it sprawls a lot more. However, you come into the city centre here, and parts of it are like time stood still, and then other parts are very different. But just looking around the streets, I know it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but it's pretty quiet. in comparison to the road in and out, which were absolutely jam-packed. Congestion even. It's the first for Bunbury. And they got their Christmas decorations up, of course, which is very nice. When on the way in, I heard on the radio that they've got a Christmas pageant coming up. We're just about to pass on the left-hand side, although you can't see it, the iconic building of Bunbury. It's like a large building, like a triangle on the top. It's quite an identifier for Bunbury. Bunbury Tower. It's a little bit old and probably seen the best, but yeah, it's still iconic. Alright, see if I can remember the way to the lookout. We climb up the hill. There used to be like a, there we are, the lighthouse. My cousin painted that. But there used to be a spiral, a little thing that you could climb up and be a lookout from. Oh, I think I just passed a turn in for it. Okay. Oh well, we follow this around, we'll come to the back beach, which is a beautiful, if not windy kind of area. There's the lighthouse to our right. This was always my favourite part of Bunbury, the back beach. You can't go up the lighthouse, unfortunately, otherwise I would. There's the lookout. It's not much of a climb, but gives you a little bit of a decent view. Remember it being this tight around here. And there's that iconic building, the Bunbury Tower that I told you about. Surprising little climb there, actually. Maybe it's just because I did the Gloucester tree earlier. Anyway, this is the view from the top of Bunbury Tower. The lookout. That's Bunbury Tower. This is Koombana Bay in Bunbury. The Dolphin Discovery Centre is just down there. Dolphins regularly come into Koombana Bay just out here. We'll go and have a look at that in a second. Just wanted to show you this sculpture, which is, I'm not really sure what it is. I haven't found a plaque yet, but it looks like an Aboriginal man, and it's just amazing, the detail in it. I love it. So it's the Wadani Buja public artwork, officially opened in 2019 by the Premier, and it's got a little QR code there you can scan for more details. On the back of the sculpture itself, which is open, so you can see the concave inside of it, which is even more detailed, which I think is fantastic. On the base here at the back, it's got some poetry, creative writing by the Wadinanuga community in collaboration with Donna Mazda. Listen to the ancestors, Buran Murat, keepers of the land, singing the silvery Kilowana. They leap and call, hear them, they have come to play, come to listen. Swim, Koombana, chase the seagulls, laugh in the clean air. See where the Serpent's River swirl in the Rhine, where the Mali dip long necks living in the water. Anyway, well worth a visit. If you're coming down to see the dolphins, come and give this sculpture a wee look. So now we're in Bunbury. I'm going to be catching up with relatives over the festive period, and we'll be doing a couple of videos, like a stock take of everything I've got to date, and then we'll do a what's working, what's not, and what I've decided to take forward with me as I head north. But whilst I'm here, we're going to be exploring Bunbury and the surroundings, doing trips away and looping back to come here. Give me a chance to catch up with all the editing and stuff. And yeah, we'll explore what are we going to do with Delilah, basically. Everywhere that I've stopped or stayed on my travels so far, I've been collecting a fridge magnet for my sister, who asked me a long time ago to get fridge magnets from around the world. So these are some of them from the Nullarbor. Hopetoun, Esperance, Nullarbor, Albany, Nullarbor, Kimber, Treetops, Valley of the Giants, Head of the Bight, Denmark, and the Gloucester Tree. That's some of them so far. So today I'm stripping Delilah down and taking her for a good shower. She's in need of a good clean. Taking the rooftop boxes off, the jerry can, max tracks. Just emptying out the basics inside now. Gonna do a bit of hoovering inside and gonna move these drawers around. So yeah, this is what Delilah looks like without the rooftop boxes on, or the fridge or whatever. Yeah, quite bare. Yeah, so give it a good clean today, get all this crap off, and she'll be looking as good as new again. Inside, I'm going to rearrange. I'm going to put this drawer on top of this one, so the fridge is lower, so I can open it fully, and it'll be more accessible for me. It will mean that on this side we'll have drawer, and then the boxes. But I've done my measurements, and essentially when I was traveling recently, I had the drawer, box, and then the cooker and whatever on top, and it's more or less the same height as drawer, box. That will mean I'll have to put the cooker, etc., down the side, which still remains to be seen if that's possible. But this is something I'm going to try at least to see if it works. It'll mean that, as I said, I'll have much more access to the fridge, and also to the cubby hole underneath, which has got the recovery gear on, which I haven't needed to date. Touch wood, I'm not going to need, but it's nice to know I'll have easier access to it than currently. Currently, if I wanted to access the recovery gear, I'd have to take this drawer out completely and then access the cubby hole underneath. Not the fastest, but yeah, With the boxes off, I'm going to measure the roof up. I'm considering getting a rooftop tent before I go up north. I'm going to be stationary in Bunbury now, or based out of Bunbury, for the next month and a bit. So I'm thinking about getting the iCamper Mini to go on top, which is 145 centimeters long and is 130 something, 39 I think, wide. I can't remember the measurements of the front runner rooftop, so I'm just gonna the front runner roof rack, so I'm just gonna measure that up and figure out if I'll have any space left if I put a rooftop tent up. So for example, if we just go up my little ladder here. Currently that's the base for the jerry can holder from front runner roof rack, front runner. I've taken the bracket off, which locks it into place, and those are the front runner max track holders. So you can see, you know, it's a similar design to most roof racks in terms of having the spaces in it for the runners. My eyelets are all underneath at the moment. That's just because of the length of the ratchet straps. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is big enough for the iCamper Mini. The iCamper Mini rooftop tent is not the cheapest in the world, mind. I think it's close to $5,000, I think, so it's a big decision to make. There are other ones, of course, like the front runner rooftop tent, or the Kings, but I'm not going anywhere near that after the reviews I've read. Kings also do a hard case one, which looks a lot more better. A lot better, not more better. And yeah, there's literally hundreds to choose from. I've had a look at loads of reviews and everything. The iCamp Mini just looks ideal, mind. It's got a hard shell, but it also expands out to like the traditional rooftop tent. So the idea being that you just move the car so that the hard shell is facing the brunt of the bad weather. All the reviews I've read on it have been really good. But as I said, it's a big expense, so I'm going to have a long think about that. But first things first today is to get Delilah clean, and then we'll have a think about it. Of course, if I do a rooftop tent, I may not have space up there for the jerry can. I'm considering getting to heavy-duty tire carrier for the back. You can get one that kind of, the wheel sits out here somewhere, and it's got two slots behind for jerry cans, so that might be an option. The only thing is, mine, I don't know if you can see it from this angle, that Delilah, well, it's only very, very subtle now, but when it was fully loaded up, the back end is sitting a bit lower, so the nose is sitting up. That's because the suspension on the back is settled, and it's settled a bit lower than I expected. So if I got this extra weight on the back, I would probably have to upgrade the suspension on the back just to level it out a bit. So another expense. So is the spare tire holder on the back. That's another added expense. There's a lot to think about. But first things first, let's get Delilah clean. There we are, Delilah's looking a lot cleaner now. Just giving her a bit of a shower. And she's like new. Well, a little bit of hard fought dirt stuck in the rubber. Let's see if I can blacken the bumpers a little bit there. Yeah. Quite pleased with how she's come up. Now to put all the stuff back on. So whilst I'm stopped here for the Christmas period, I'm doing bits and bobs to Delilah. At the moment, I've just added another drawer. Like, ideally my idea was to get rid of this drawer so that the fridge would sit lower, and I've got access to the recovery gear, which is in the cubby hole below it. I put the other drawer up there, as you can see. I've decided to keep that one up there, even though it's got the fridge slide on it, because I don't use the fridge slide. And I can now slide that forward and get to the stuff at the back behind the passenger seat, so that's all good. I've got this one here, which I'm just thinking about what to put in there now, so I'll probably put the cooking ware in there, you know, the camp oven, pots, pans, and etc., and cleaning stuff. This one then I'll put my electronics, keep that one for food and dry food, and then the fridge is sit on top of this. Of course, I've still got that added difficulty of getting in and out of the fridge, but well, that's just partly on me being short and partly on Delilah being small as well for space. Now on the roof I've got a bit of a dilemma. So I'm just doing some measurements up here to see what my options would be for a rooftop tent. I swear to God, every time I start to film, the wind picks up. So this is roughly 145 or 146 centimeters wide, as you're looking at it from these to that side. And in length is about 1750, something like that, millimeters, so 1.75 meters. Now, I've done the measurements for the iCamper Mini. Even though it's the Mini, it'll virtually fill this. It'll fill this completely, which will mean that I lose all my rooftop storage. The two boxes, the jerry can holder you can see in front of you, and of course the gas. Now, on top of that, I would need to remove or reposition the Maxtrax and probably the aerial, and possibly these two lights that I've got. So I'm looking at a more traditional rooftop tent, the canvas pull-out ones. ARB do one, for example, it's called the Simpson Mark III. That one is it's about 120, 1.2 meters wide and 1.4 long. So essentially it'll go from that side to roughly here-ish, which would give me roughly 10 centimeters, which is too small for the jerry can holder, but I'll be able to put the gas up here. But once again, you lose your rooftop boxes. With the Simpson ARB tent, I may be able to put one rooftop box at the front, but it'd be a very, very tight squeeze, and I'm probably thinking that's not going to be an option. So lose all rooftop storage, basically. I was looking at the front runner rooftop tent, because the front runner is the smallest and lightest of the lot. However, the reviews say it's not too good on durability, but not just that, it compacts so small that you can't keep the bedding up there, which would mean I'd need to keep the bedding inside with me. Now that's not a massive problem. Well, when you think about what I had on the roof, I had my swag, which had the bedding inside of it, tent poles, the fly sheets, the camping chair, my clothes, you know, it all adds up. And where am I going to carry that now? Inside, well, even with the new drawer, where am I going to put my clothes, for example? Or where am I going to put my my camping chair? So options I'm looking at are, for example, the front runner collapsible chair. expander, I think it's called, which is like a director's chair type thing, which folds up to a third of its size and could go down the side of there, along with the toilet and the ensuite and the cooker and the kitchen caddy and the jerry cans for the water. Yeah, it's all a bit of a squeeze. A friend of mine just said to me, well, like my best advice to you is to get a trailer or change the vehicle. Now I'm a bit reluctant to go down the route of getting a different car, just because I've done so much to Delilah, and you know, it's Delilah. But you know, I might have to face reality. I should point out at this point, if I haven't already done so, that Land Rovers are my first love. I only moved away from them because I couldn't afford an old Defender, and the new Defenders are crap. I would have got a Grenadier if they were out from Ineos, but they're not out for another year in Australia. Like, I love Delilah, but space is becoming an issue. I mean, I could just stick to the current setup and stick to the swag and the rooftop boxes. Now that I've got a draw, it will make life a little bit easier, but not overly so. But if I do that and I go up north, then I'm on the floor with the crocodiles and dingoes and everything else. I'm not too alarmed by all of that, but I don't know, I kind of had my heart on a rooftop tent. But yeah, if I was going to sell Delilah, now would be the time. Given the market, mind, I might struggle to find a replacement. I keep getting spammed by Jeep to ask me if I want to buy a Jeep Gladiator. It's the new one with the pickup back in. But you're looking at about 84 to 95,000 for the new one of them. Oh well. First world problems there. Bought this set of screw-in pegs from Snowy's. I've used them once on the beach in Esperance, and they didn't do a very good job. The drill adapter kept slipping, so I'm chucking that. These smallest ones are absolutely useless on the sand, and they're going to be useless in soil and stuff as well, so I'm chucking those. I'm keeping for now the bigger ones. And the medium ones. I'm getting rid of the bag and everything, trying to small down. I stuffed them all into my 10-pin bag. This bag was inside that bag, so you see what I mean. I'm just going to chuck this. So I got this spun steel camp oven from Snowy's. They persuaded me to get the bigger one because it's better. I've seasoned it and everything, but I've used it once on my travels, and that was to boil things in it. I've stacked my billy inside, and inside of the billy I've got firelighter materials and firelighters around the case. Now, everywhere I've been so far, it's been strict fire bans, so you can't use the superurban fires at the moment, so I've 100% used my gas cooker. So with hindsight, if I had brought just pots and pans, I would have used those more. I started off with the billy in here, and I took it out because I wanted to make tea quickly, and then about halfway through my journey I realised, oh, I've got the jet boil. So instead of using that as an emergency thing, I now use that for cuppas. So that goes back in the camp oven. It takes up a substantial amount of room in the drawer. So one thing I am toying with is getting rid of the camp oven and maybe replacing it with a smaller cast iron one. But like, it's brand new, I've used it once, as I say, it just feels like a bloody waste. But I'm not using it, it's just taking up room, and it's a lot of room, you know. Got the campfire mittens, I've also got these oven gloves. This is the lid that goes on the other side around. You can use it as a frying pan as well. I've got a multi-grip from Mitre 10, just clamps onto the side. I can use it as a frying pan. This thing, which I bought, thinking I was going to get a cast iron camp oven, is just getting in the way, and I can't use it with this because this is made specifically to fit against the lid of the cast iron. Like, I could do it like that, but you know, it's not ideal. That's what I'm getting at. Not ideal. Decisions. So my current thought process is essentially what was in this drawer primarily is going to be in this drawer. Don't ask me why. And then in here I'm going to take out the electronics flat pack I've got inside of the front runner wolf pack, and I'm going to put it inside this drawer, either at the back or the front, I don't know yet, just so I get easier access. And the small kind of satchel bag I've got, I'm going to either decamp into the back of this drawer, that's all my personal effects, passports, etc. And then I can lock this drawer, which just gives me an extra little bit of peace of mind. Or I'm going to take some stuff out of the bag and put a whole bag in at the back. At the moment it's too big to go in, but if I took some stuff out I could collapse it down a wee bit. But then that gives me the dilemma of what to do with the wolf pack. I'll have one empty wolf pack if I took the electronics out. I was thinking, well, I would put the cookware in, but then what would I put in the drawer? I might end up leaving the electronics in the wolf pack, and then maybe trying to put my clothes in here, maybe. Because you got to remember that assuming I'm going to get rid of the rooftop boxes, I'm going to need to store the rooftop box contents down here. So maybe that's what one of the drawers will do, is take over all the camping stuff. But if I go for the rooftop tent, I will also go for the front runner expandable chair, which collapses down quite small, and I will also go for the they do a table which you can mount underneath the roof rack. It's bloody expensive, but it's a good, you know, it'll just clip under here and then you can slide in, but then it'll also have to move. Oh yeah, then that space is too small at the front for it, I think. I don't know, I'll have to measure, because you might be able to slide it in there, but then I'd have to move that there. So what I'm currently thinking is leave that one on that side and put that one on the corner there, or possibly just move them from that side and put them both on that corner. If the rooftop tent goes on and it opens out that way, I'm going to have to move at least the lights, if not the aerial as well. First world problems, I know. I'm going to go to ARB this afternoon and get a quote for a long range tank, and then that would mean that I'll have to carry a jerry can. It's probably going to be upwards of $1,000 though. Just toying with things, and at the moment I've relocated the cool bag to behind the chair and put the cooker down here. The cooker was on top of everything, but at the moment its new home is going to be there for the time being. The big 20-litre jerry can I got here I've replaced with 2 smaller 5 litres, so I got 10 litres instead of 20 litres. When I was travelling I was just using one of these, it never got empty. And this, I will talk you through it, but essentially I use to regulate the volume that's in the fridge. But I'll come to that when I get the fridge back in. I don't know if that's going to stay there yet, because if that stays there you can't get to the tie down. Not sure you can, but it'll be more of an issue. And there's a little bit of give, which means I could put something else down there just to make it in. Got the kitchen caddy up against the window there. At the moment I got the toilet back where it was, but this time it's upright. There's still a bit of space down behind it, so I might see if the privacy tent will go down there. But yeah, over the next month and a bit this is going to be a bit of a headache. I think I will go for the rooftop tent. If I do, I'll probably go for the front runner one, and the front runner one should finish around here, which means I got this bit at the front, so it might be possible to mount one of the rooftop boxes up there. I'll have to see that if I make that leap. Yeah. These are the dilemmas. I've also put the LED strip light pack up there. That fits in quite nicely up there, so I might keep that there. But the battery is still down here, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. Yeah. I could possibly put the battery underneath that pack, and then the pack could sit. Yeah, I'll see if it'll fit. So I'm just looking over my ladder here, which I bought online from Edison. There we go. There we go. Edison.com.au. When I looked around the camping sites, they had similar ladders, telescopic ladders like this, but they were like $260 odd. I got this one from Edison, which is 2 meters long. They did a 2.6 meter one as well, which I didn't think was needed. And this one was $85, and it came in like 3 days, so strongly suggested. But one thing I was looking at is if I got the front runner rooftop tent. The reviews I've read said the ladders on it not very good, and it could do with a telescopic one. And I was watching this morning. Just try and get this down one-handed. There we go. I was watching this morning an online thing on YouTube. Where what they had done is they had fitted their own brackets on top of here, and then on the underneath of the rooftop tent where the ladder was, they took the ladder off and put brackets on with spring mounted things, so just, you know, a spring thing like that, whatever they're called. So essentially you just pull it back and then it shoots through the loop and attaches the ladder. And then they used one of these, not this specific ladder, but one of these ladders as the ladder for the rooftop tent, and obviously you can detach it and use it as a normal ladder as well. So this is one thing I'm looking at. Obviously you won't be able to tell again until you get the rooftop tent, if I go down that route. Next week on Jeep Roscoe. Okay, today we're just going to take Delilah down onto the beach